Yeah. You know it's another rock and roll. Going up, ascending the mountain. Yours truly on the ascension. One of the peaks, Westmount, gonna have to put those gloves. Gotta begin commence with that rock and roll on the road. As you know, Rainbow Dragon rock and roller, and that's the moon. The sun is now shining and rising for the truckers and the bakers and the butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors and the grocery store clerks. Gotta put the red glove. I'm going up the mountain before the Sabbath. Special marching edition. I gotta clock in a minimum of 6 hours, minimum 6 hours today to get the average for the week, because I have to get a minimum average of 4 hours, so 5 days, Monday to Friday. So yesterday I did more than 7, and I did more than 3:16, and the other day of course was 4 hours, more than 4 hours, so it added up. So that's what I gotta do today, because last Monday didn't do any, so that counted as a 0. So in order to add up today, I gotta do that 6 minimum. So I'm gonna get back by 11:44. Well, actually 11:30, because I left at 5:30 p.m. So grateful, thankful. My rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, got food and coffee, and we're ascending up the mountain. Got the backpack on, bought some wafers. You know, I got a little bit of thing for the wafers. They're on special, half price. So I jumped. There were 11 bags. I grabbed 11 bags I left for somebody else. They were half price reduced. So I grabbed 3, and they're imported from Austria. So they crossed the ocean, and I've never had this brand before. So I put them on that special for 300 grams each bag. So I got 2 pounds, 900 grams of wafers for the Sabbath. I'm only gonna start munching after midnight. The Sabbath of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom begins at midnight. You know the song. Pledge your allegiance, our family. Pledge your allegiance, our family. Pledge your allegiance, our family. And you see, that goes down. Even the car goes on the mountain as we go up. We're gonna go a little bit of that snake, and see, Orion is there. Orion is above my underground dragon's lair. That's Orion, the constellation, and that's Scorpio. So to my left, exactly, left hand, because this is my right hand, I'm holding the work tool, my smartphone with the left hand. So Orion is there, not that visible on the camera, but that's Orion, and that is, of course, the other one is Scorpio. They're always opposite adjacent, you know. They're opposite dynamics, you know. And now it's a bit on the cloudy side, but there it is. I can spot a few on tires. It's kind of red. So now the mountain where we're heading, Mount Royal, is exactly consecrated for the constellation representing the GODDSS. Goddesses. I got a goddess. I was priestess of the goddess in many lifetimes, many past times, many past lives, incarnations, reincarnations, as you know. You get that 50-50 now. Pledge your allegiance to our family. Always grateful, thankful. My rent's paid, electricity bill's paid. I got food. I got 3 bags of wafers. There were 11 left. I got 3, so there's still 8 left for somebody who wants to enjoy. I wouldn't have been able to afford any buying the 11 anyways, but just like that as a parallel, you see how he still goes up. So now we're on the West Mount, one of the 3 peaks or the mountain system known as Mount Royal. Mount Royal proper has 3 peaks, and that's my second home, was the Belvedere where we're heading. You know, Dragon vs. Trump special edition. You know, I've been having and will continue to challenge Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border. This Quebecer Canadian who was born in the USA 3 times. Once as a woman, twice as a man. And when I was born as a man, I served in the United States Armed Forces. 2 different incarnations, 2 different lives. Same U.S. Army. 2 different wars. The wars were 156 years apart. But you gotta read that George Patton through a glass darkly. That's one of my favorite poems of this Aspie. This Aspie got Asperger's, I'm neurodivergent and lack certain skills of social nature and other things. But I guess I can manage myself to write some poetry because I am also an artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical analyst and theorist and mystic. Believer in reincarnation. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in New Jersey, Hampton. 1/3 of me up in the Mount Royal, and 1/3 of me in the city of the pyramids. Encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Got the backpack in the back, so I got some weight. I think it's more than 44 pounds because I stacked in, of course. I carried those red. My favorite color, the red gloves, which were gifted by yours truly, anonymous friend. If I make $1 million, $1 trillion, $1 billion, I'm going to give 50%, that half. Which I got those gloves right after I started challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match when he first imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel back in 2018. Before that date, I kind of stayed out of politics. I was just coming out of being depressed, being suicidal, moving from a very moldy place and being depressed, being suicidal, and that's what it is with that. And I crossed Canada coast to coast, ocean to ocean. So that event made me come out of being depressed and suicidal. There's the backpack. There's the red backpack. Yeah, auctioning it for $1 million. I'm gonna give half 50% to my anonymous friend. I wore it for a lot of years now. I think for more than 5 years now. Almost 5 years. I think I had it since 2020, about June, July, maybe summer 2020, and I'm marking today, celebrating marching, workout, training, dancing, march. You're truly busting a dance move all the time. You know, dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity. LOVE to that dance. Hopefully somebody dancing, getting that good loving. Love double trouble for yours truly, get that. Choreography. Dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity, so this is my marching dance arts, you know, and yours truly celebrating. Gotta watch it here for a little bit of black ice. You don't want to slip and slide, and as I go on these toes, you know. So yours truly, as I'm celebrating, marking today 5 years. 5 years. 5 years since I had COVID. Back between February 7th, 2020 and March 24th, 2020. 5 years ago. This time I was kind of starting to heal around this time, because now today's the 7th of March 2025, the 7th of March 2025. See, sometimes we're over there. And sometimes we point the finger towards the mountain here, but see, it still goes up. I don't know how visible it is on the camera, but from the eye you can see it goes up. So we're kind of at the midpoint of the mountain, which has 3 peaks. So the peaks are huge. It's a mountain system with 3 big peaks, high in altitude. See, it's very high there, but gotta see now it's night, so it's not that visible. But see how we are kind of at the midpoint, and you can see those lights of the metropolis, Hawk Island, HAW, Montreal, my home in this life and in another life. So we're high above the mountain, at the midpoint here, above the midpoint. But sometimes we're kilometers and miles away there, and we point towards the mountain here. Make mention of it is right between the east and the west. Not exactly between the north and the south, but it's between the east and the west, kind of in between, exactly between the east and the west. So here I gotta get around that, bend the knees a bit. Gotta give that shout out to Hydro Quebec, workers of the past, workers of the future, workers of the present. Hydro Quebec workers now sending some LOVE with that rock and roll French bilingual, know how it goes. And we gotta give some of that loving to the truckers, firefighters. Make some good loving to the firefighters, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the grocery store clerks, those flipping some of those cheeseburgers, hamburgers, those double stacks, stacking up those pizzas. Tomorrow for a special day for my friend. I'm gonna treat to less than on a budget, so I got $20 to buy 3 pizzas. Well, those pizzas that you do yourself, you know, in the oven, because they're on special $3.47. So 347 times 3 is 1050, right? And I gotta get a $9 bottle of wine if I can find one. If not, I guess I can. Got a budget of 25 max. So here I just gotta be careful because it's really like an ice rink. So I really gotta step it on the slow side. So celebrating marching, celebratory march to the mountain. Victory, 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 surviving COVID, but I was hit by COVID in 2020, right at the beginning, right before it was even mention of COVID. I think it's safer for me to actually march here on this side. All things considered, that there's no salt. Public workers gonna put some salt here probably, but until then, because I can't complain. I'm not complaining, because it just happened. I guess the black ice now, the ice got formed in the past day, or And so we gotta be grateful. We gotta send some LOV to the public workers. Public workers deserve a raise, some good massage therapy sessions, some good spa financing. It takes the public and the private. So I survived COVID in 2020 between February 7th, 2020. I had it between February 7th, 2020, and I think I had it 3 times, different years. The variance. First time it was the hardest. Then it got milder, and then the third time it was like even milder. I had the variants also, the COVID variants. There were many COVID variants. I think there might be still even now. For all we know, a pandemic is starting now. For all we know, something which, of course, we don't know exactly even what caused COVID. And now the CIA revised. CIA got the revision of the COVID, and they said it was most likely concluded that it was highly likely that COVID was actually coming from a laboratory. So that is the latest 3 weeks ago with the new, there was a more probability or higher probability that it was actually coming from a lab in an experiment gone wrong or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I have my trinity on COVID. My holy trinity on the COVID is, first and foremost, I believe it was snakes who transmitted it from humans to humans. Second, I don't know for sure. Third, I cannot rule out another possibility, right? That's my trinity on COVID. And there's a fourth dimension to that trinity of what I believe the origins of COVID is. Fourth dimension is what I do know 100% without a doubt. Because even though I believe in snakes, the transmission from zoonotic transmission from snakes to human beings, I cannot rule out another possibility. What I do know for sure is that before COVID, back in October, November 2019, as an independent athlete and independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, I had concluded that humanity is set again to go towards an international conflagration. And so created and produced a workout training program system officially titled dedie, General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, aka the 300 workout, of course, which is simple, effective, and efficient, which myself have performed more than 372 sessions, and yours truly. I had concluded that humanity is going towards an international conflagration of World War III. I got proof of work, so that's what it is with that. So that's what we gotta be doing. That's what we gotta be saying, and that's what I don't know for sure. The COVID, what caused it? I believe it was snakes, but I cannot rule out another possibility. So I cannot rule out another possibility. I cannot myself rule out another possibility because I don't know. I believe it was snakes to human beings. I believe it was snakes to human beings, and that's what I believe with, and gotta be on that look, So that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with XYZ, and gotta get it on the love, So it's something which we gotta do with that, and that's what it is, XYZ. So that's what it is with that, and so we gotta get doing some XYZ, and that's what we gotta get on that love, Gotta encourage my fellow citizens who jog, The jogging is good for you. It does you a little bit of good with that, and that's why we gotta be on that presentable, So we gotta be on that presentations, So it's something which we gotta be encouraging it for fitness, and that's why we gotta be on the look, Because it's something which we gotta be doing on the daily. and myself, have been embarked on a fitness journey from 2017 when I crossed Canada coast to coast. That event in my life changed my whole life, and that's what changed my whole life when I crossed Canada coast to coast, So that crossing Canada coast to coast, that's when I got out of being depressed and suicidal, So look at that moon. So I was depressed, I was suicidal, And then I crossed Canada coast to coast. Canada coast to coast. So I crossed Canada coast to coast, and that event made me come out of being depressed and suicidal, being depressed and suicidal. That event changed my whole life, I established a strong esprit de corps. My fellow Canadians, our family, Quebecers, Canadians, my family, my brothers and sisters in the USA. So I established a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians, and that's what it is with that. That's what it is which we gotta do, So something which we gotta get that love also, because it's not all about money. And 2017 August, across Canada coast to coast, and across Canada coast to coast, and that's what I came out of being depressed. I crossed out being depressed and suicidal, and that's what it is with that. That's what it is with the XYZ, and that's what it is with that. That's all. Gotta get doing sometimes, It's been tough times. I've been attacked by surprise, and to the hospital. Hit my head. I had a dislocated arm, and I was put on some medication. I had my oscillium pyre episode. I had like a coma and several flashes of being attacked several times in the past years, and I have retrograde amnesia. I have lots of memory. I have trouble accessing memory predating my life to where I used to live a few years ago, 79 even, maybe, I'm not sure exactly, gotta double check. When I moved a few years ago, more than seven from an underground lair in Côte des Neiges, Montreal. It was a moldy place, and across Canada coast to coast. When I reached Banff, I had an illumination, when I reached Banff. I had an illumination reaching Banff, having an illumination reaching Banff, and that's what it is with that. So having reached Banff, I just had an awakening. I said, wow, such a country. But even crossing the prairies, going all the way to BC, Vancouver, I had that really changed my life. Crossing Canada in 2017, coast to coast. So first went from Montreal to Vancouver, BC, a 3 day and a half. 3.5 days as it took to change. We changed a few times the buses, but me and an anonymous friend, we went to Vancouver, BC. So that's what we gotta get doing with that. So that event really made me establish a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians and Quebecers, and I encourage. I've written even a paper, theoretical paper for the need to mass finance tourism, to see the great country we have on us. And I have a tattoo with a maple leaf in Canada tattoo, but probably decades ago, because I don't know how I don't remember my tattoos, and I have blackouts, retrograde amnesia, memory loss, and it's hard for me to access memories predating my life from moving from that underground moldy place, and having flashes of violence, and got plenty of scars, on my body, even on my androgynous genitalia, got scars on my body, on my lots of scars, but I'm joyous now, just financially stressed, in the red, financially stressed, but hey, after this workout, I'm gonna have me some good wafers, and I know somebody, the youth, I gotta get some of that good loving and dancing, and we're gonna establish the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream, fundamentally for a public-private partnership, which I'm laying the foundations with 718 trillions of kisses, with 718 trillions of kisses, 718 trillions of kisses created from the goddess, forgotten. And of course, I created my surviving COVID to the GODDSS, to the goddess, and I will to build on the Canadian-US border, or somewhere here, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, and the Forgotten Goddess Temple. Forgotten Goddess Temple, or the Goddess Temple of the Goddess of a Million Names. Going to that Scorpio towards Scorpio. The Scorpio sign goes like that. Is right above me now, but not really, but part of it. I can see Scorpio, speaking about the goddess, G-O-D-D-S-S. The goddess, it is right above the mountain. We are on the mountain, but now we're on West Mount. And the other peak is Mount Royal. So this is West Mount. The other peak is Mount Royal. And the other one's Outramount. So now we're kind of at the midpoint, midsection of the mountain peak until we get to those different summits. Anyways, so, and I will to build. Construction workers got to put some on the table for the construction workers. Some feet washing, massages, kisses. Feet washing, massages, kisses. Feet washing, massages, kisses. Feet washing, massages, kisses. That's what we gotta get doing, you know. So, feet washes, massages, kisses. Feet washes, massages, and kisses with that. So, you know, and to build the Forgotten Goddess Temple, and I will to build the North American Imperial People's Coliseum for the fusion of Canada and the United States. Unless we're north through strong and free, and we gotta add some love to that. And my brothers and sisters are the home of the brave, land of the free. You gotta add some love. We both have to add some of that L-O-V-E, eh? Because freedom and bravery and strength is not enough for us to live like without L-O-V-E, without some good loving, you know. 50-50 on that. Rock and roll. So that's what it is. And the North American Imperial People's Coliseum, I will build this massive, 11 times bigger than whatever NFL stadiums exist. The biggest one, I think, is the newest one built in 2020, right? In California, or gotta double check. But built 11 times the size of the Coliseum arena of the biggest NFL arena. 11 times for perpetual sports, fitness, and exercising, for perpetual sports, fitness, and exercising, for perpetual sports, fitness, and exercising, for perpetual sports, fitness, and exercising on the Canadian-US border and Democratic Republic of North America. So we're actually north, right? I'm gonna fuse basically the north and the south in a Democratic Republican way, centrist, public-private partnership best, you know. And it's Dragon versus Trump, the first inauguration, the first event will be me and Donald Trump fighting in a boxing match. So I've been challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match since 2018, when he first imposed 10% tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel. This Quebecer Canadian who served in the United States Armed Forces twice, previous incarnation, who sent some LOVE. I don't know about that 51st state. What I do know is should have said no to tariffs and invite us properly to join. Give 25% discounts on motels, hotels, and for mass finance some of that billions and billions and billions to invite Canadians to visit the 50 states and vice versa. My American brothers and sisters to come visit Canada coast to coast. That's the way to invite and throw the biggest party ever. When we're gonna fuse the biggest party ever. Canada, US, biggest Sabbaths ever, biggest parties ever. And establish the Dragon Army for security, service, and defense only. Coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. For security, service, and defense only. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. For security, service, and defense. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. For security, service, and defense. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. That's what we gotta get doing with that, and we gotta get it on the go, you know. So something which we gotta be on the transmission, you know. So something which we gotta be doing. You know, gotta give some LOVE to the firefighters and the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and the grocery store clerks, and to the firefighters, the truckers, those in the daycares who changed some diapers today, Friday, and at midnight, 1 second past midnight, The Sabbath of the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom commences. The Sabbath for the rejuvenation, recreation of the North American collective. As a philosopher who espouses the North American collective, my initiatives, policies, call to all willingly loving, pledge your allegiance to our family. It's fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective. North American civilizational complex across North America, for the North American collective. That's what we gotta get doing, and that's what we gotta get on the go, so something which we gotta be. Somebody making some good LOVE. With consent, the main message has been, is, and will be this. HUG, get that hug. Like you never hugged before. Hug like you never hugged before with consent. Hug like you never hugged before. Like a period of hockey is 15 minutes. It's 20 minutes actually, because there's 3. Correction. Great iron football is 15 minutes and it's 4 quarters. Hockey's periods are 20 minutes, so you choose. If you prefer hockey, hug for 20 minutes. If you prefer gridiron, hug for 15. I love both, but you know what my favorite sport and fitness activity is? Dancing. Love that dance, and you don't see too much now, but I'm dancing with my hands and my shoulders ahead. For my Lord HHH, who dances not. My Lord HHH, who dances not. My Lord HHH, who dances not. So I gotta dance for my Lord, Sun rises, sun sets. Pledge your allegiance to our family. For my 93, my will to be buried with a third of me. Hampton, New Jersey. Papa Crowley. Third of me up in Mount Royal, where we're gonna go. The third of me up in the city of the pyramids, And here we are, ascending up and ascending on the go, and that's what we gotta get doing on that, and that's what we gotta get on the LOV side, Forget it for the butchers, the lovers, the doctors, firefighters, these NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please reduce the cost of the tickets. Thank you. For reducing the cost by 44%, 44.9%. And please give some tickets to the firefighters, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, all involved in the production, distribution of food. Look at that full moon. Want to make some LOVE with Rainbow Dragon, androgynous pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom with kisses, black, white, or rainbow, man and women, man and woman, I played that rainbow loving. So which I'm gonna card you, You're gonna get carded. Just like when you go buy liquor, alcohol, cigarettes. I don't smoke personally. I drink rarely. Tomorrow maybe gonna spend $1 for some red wine, and that's what it is. That's what it is with that. That's what it is for the go. And that's what we gotta get on the loving, and so we're gonna get on the carding, just like you're in a club. I'm gonna ask for those cards. Gotta be 18 for this one. For Rainbow Dragon Love, you gotta be 18, although consent, I was like Quebec, Montreal is 16, but for me it's still gotta be 18 plus. No joke. Encouraging all to LOVE good tonight. Dance good. Hug like you never hugged before. Special before the Sabbath March. Special celebrating 5 years. For me, when I had COVID, it was like death, pestilence, and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. When I say that it was like death, pestilence, and disease, I mean it in a way that, of course, I felt like that's how I felt like it was death, pestilence, and disease, you know. So that's how I really felt like in a manner, of course, which was really hardcore. And I really thought that was my, of course, my last days. I thought that was my last chapter. I said, I'm done, you know. 2020, mid-February, mid-March was like death, pestilence, and disease. I know when I say death, pestilence, and disease, it sounds like a hardcore death trash metal song. Death, pestilence, and disease on my enemies, please. Death, pestilence, and disease on my enemies, please. Death, pestilence, and disease on my enemies, please. I know it sounds like a hardcore trash metal, hardcore trash heavy rock metal, but that's how I felt like, and I thought that was it, and I survived. Created my surviving to the goddess, my will to build the goddess, GODDESS, Forgotten Goddess Temple, the North American Imperial People's Coliseum for the fusion on the Canadian-US border. We gotta get rid of the border. It's best for security to focus energies, resources, finance to focus energy, resources on the ports and the airports, on the ports and the airports, on the ports and the airports, to focus on the ports and the airports, on the ports and the airports, to focus on the ports, on the ports and the airports, on the ports and the airports. That's why I gotta focus on the ports and the airports, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, best my new 911, 911 Dragon Army, to be the establishment for the security service and only for security service and only, for security service and only, security service and defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're gonna play that defense like that hardball ball, aka blackout ball, one of my favorite Super Bowls. Hardball ball, aka blackout ball. Hardball ball, aka blackout ball. My 49ers lost. Please give some tickets. NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, to the public workers across the North American Collective, those who are picking up the garbage. Thank you for picking up the garbage, the recycling, the compost. Gotta get that big love into them, big good rock and roll to them. And now we're just gonna go around about like that to the mountain, do some consecration of that law of Telema, non-sectarian, dancing goddess, dragon kingdom. Pledge your allegiance to our family. We're gonna rock and roll, go back to my headquarters and enjoy gotta get 6 hours minimum, you know, so, because I gotta get average minimum 4 hours Monday to Friday, because Monday I missed, Monday I rested, but with this 6 hours and the 7 hours yesterday and the 3 hours and 16 minutes Wednesday and Tuesday, more than 4 hours, is gonna add to more than 20 hours. 20 divided by 5 is 4 to get my average, because I march dance, you know, and on a fitness journey since 2017. I lost between 80 pounds and 93 pounds, and I always say my fitness journey commences today, as I rock and roll. Firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, and doctors, grocery store clerks, even for the bus drivers. LOV to the bus drivers of the Collective, subway in the metros. We gotta get that DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, That's what we gotta do, and my Trinity of theory is best, you know. Trinity of theories, the CIT, citizen integration theory, DRT, debt refusion theory, and the democratic fusion theory, the complementary covenant and cooperative institutions. Nice, plenty of stars, and there's Orion. Orion is there, so you're right above the Mount Royal proper, because there's 3 peaks in the mountain system. Is Scorpio. Yours truly, Scorpios, Leos. It takes all the aforementioned Sagittariuses, takes Scorpios, takes all the astrological signs, you know. Pledge your allegiance to our families, the rock and roll song, and We're gonna discuss that DRT, and you know, we're gonna give some of that good loving, and calling all to support the Dragon Army Initiative, which is fundamentally the North American Collective Civilizational Complex, the North American Civilizational Complex for the creation of the complementary covenant and cooperative 21st century institutions to serve only for security, service and defense and environmental purposes, and joy of dancing and services. Get that good service for the 21st century, you know, is the Dragon Army Complex. And motto is, nobody's born a dragon, not even myself. Took blood, sweat and tears and hundreds of my workout training program system. I did more than 372. I created it back in 2019, October, November. Simple, effective workout training program system, which is meant to increase general overall fitness. I'm going to go over the rules as it's a Dragon versus Trump event, and let's build the North American Imperial People's Coliseum. And the first event is going to be me and Trump fighting as inviters properly. Say I made a mistake with the tariffs. I should have invited the Canadians properly, considered joining, and we're going to fuse Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, and going to create a common currency, common passport, but we need to also sign some of those executive orders to rebuild the North American inner urban cities, aka the ghettos, rebuild the ghettos, and we need to get some executive order to raise the minimum wage, and we got to freeze the prices, you know, freeze the prices ASAP, and mass finance tourism for wellness. We're gonna see, you know, for that wellness, something which we gotta be on the doing for the wellness, and something which we gotta be on the doing for the general overall fitness, and you know, for mental health, gratitude, being grateful is something which is really super important. The gratitude, you know, grateful, thankful, although financially struggling. I paid my rent month of March, paid my electricity bill, paid my rent, paid my electricity bill, got food, got coffee, got those wafers in the backpack, 3 bags on that discount, and that's what it is with that, on that discount, that's what it is, and that's what it is with the XYZ, and you know, got internet connection. Small, better than where I used to live. Where I used to live, there was lots of mold, and maybe it was the mold that caused retrograde amnesia or blackouts of memory. Sometimes it comes back, but I don't know, maybe COVID, having COVID. And I got 3 vaccines, 3 triple vaxxed. Here's the barracks, Canadian Armed Forces. It needs a little bit of color. Put some red and green and purple, orange, some good color, 21st century. Dragon Army best for security and service, my brothers and sisters. Sending some love to our brothers and sisters in uniform. We gotta get some new uniforms. The Plateau, North American Collective, and you know, calling on my astrological brother Bill Gates for security and communications, internal North American centric, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and one in on that action of the Golden Dome, NORAD base, Golden Dome. We need to implement Operation Northern Scorpion, based on my total mobile defense theory, or total mobile defense theory, TM, total mobile defense theory, or TMDTS, the total mobile defense theory, or the total mobile defense theory system, which is for the North American Collective. I'm not going to discuss it now because it involves, I'm not going to go into details too much because it involves matters of national security, and I'm not going to divulge much information on YouTube because I'm putting on the public sphere, you know, open source from the public YouTube, you know, even if I put 18 plus, but I'm not going to discuss it too much with it, but I just want to get it on the go. So that is something which I got some ice on my foot, so I gotta just a little bit of ice, just a little bit of snow. Just gonna go hard with it. Hey, what is that creature crossing? Maybe a raccoon. I'm going to the optometrist next week, so gotta check on my vision, because sometimes, vision is a bit on that more awkward side. It looks maybe a fox. Fox maybe. So we got all sorts of foxes and rabbits. Foxes and rabbits, and foxes are rare, but it could be that it is a fox. Rabbits we have a lot. I see a lot of rabbits, hawks we have on the mountain, but it could be maybe somebody's cat. I don't know. There was some creature there. I couldn't see. It was something that passed fast, and I don't know what it was, but whatever the case may be, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. So that's what we gotta get on the XYZ, and anyways, so that's what it is here, and that's what we gotta get on the do, and that's what we gotta get on the circumvision, man. So gotta send some LOV, to the butchers, to the bakers, to the nurses, to the doctors, and to the grocery store clerks. Firefighters, stars, counting stars, Gotta get it on the do, and that's why I gotta get that Orion, And then there it is, right above Mount Royal, where we're heading now. Right above Mount Royal proper is Scorpio, and that's what I gotta get doing, Scorpio is right there above. Will to build a goddess temple, GODDSS, credit my surviving COVID to the goddess, and is doing on the Canadian-US border, and along with the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, special Dragon versus Trump. First event is going to be me fighting Donald Trump, and it's going to be perpetual sports, 24/7 sports, and more recreation during the Sabbath though. Sabbath begins at midnight tonight, so 1 second past midnight, the Sabbath of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom begins, and now it's time, of course, to implement and discuss my TRD, total. I'm not going to discuss the total mobile defense theory system. That's for the implementation of the Operation Northern Scorpion, but I will discuss, super important to discuss, the DRT, debt refusion theory, the DRT debt refusion theory, the DRT, 7th of March, victory, celebrating 5 years since I survived COVID. Wow, so joyous now. Wanna be Telemite by the law of Telema. Non-sectarian, dancing goddess, dragon kingdom, pledge your allegiance. General Clit Dick, General Limb Dick, General Clit Dick, General androgynous little scars who goddess best sometimes. Still get that rocket erection. Even with the scars. Even with the scars, Still get an erection. Masturbate. But, I like my BDSM switch. No need to spy on me. Stay over there. Secret Services of Russia. Don't cross the ocean. Neither the Atlantic nor the Pacific. Secret Services of China. Because I am androgynous, pansexual. Black, white, and rainbow, you want to get some loving. Song is May I Be Avenged, 11-fold, don't get it twisted, understood. Song is May I Be Avenged, 11-fold, don't get it twisted or misunderstood. Song is May I Be Avenged, 11-fold, don't get it twisted or misunderstood. Got kisses, paid my rent, financially stressed. Got a little bit of the mountain. It's not just my mountain, it's open to the public. But when I go deep in the forest, in the dark, in the blackness, I gotta be careful because branches fall, so gotta have a little bit of love in the relation. Debt refusion theory, DRT, debt refusion theory, Dragon versus Trump, special edition, calling Trump to fight me still since it's gonna be 7 years since spring 2018. Thank you to my anonymous friend. I still got those gloves, red, which were gifted yours truly back in 2018, and auctioning them for $1 million. a million to give half to my anonymous friend. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. So that's what we gotta get doing, you know. So, I gotta start wearing my new. I guess Monday. I'm gonna start wearing my new boots, steel toe boots made in Canada, US joint. Auctioning the old ones, but in which I marched more than the journals of NATO combined. In the old ones, I marched more than the general combined. In the old ones, I marched more than the generals combined. In the old ones that are worn out, I've marched about 3 years and a half in them, a long miles. Even today, I already marched more than the generals of NATO. Maybe not combined, but during COVID combined, I marched more than the generals of NATO combined during COVID. See something? What is that? Oh, we got something there. What are you? What are you? What are you? See? What you are? Raccoon? He's gonna go up the I don't know how visible it is in the camera, but there you go. She's gonna come, maybe not. Raccoon! You gonna go up or what? There you go. Tick, tick, tick. There you see. It's a raccoon. Raccoon is going away from me. Bye, thank you. It's a little raccoon there. I don't know how visible in the camera is. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Dragon vs. Trump special edition. Auctioning the old boots. Steel toes worn out. I marched in them a lot. Auctioning them for a million. I give half and 50% to my anonymous friend. 50% to my anonymous friend. I'm gonna give 50% to my anonymous friend, you know. Who wasn't my friend because of the money? Because I never really had any. Who wasn't my friend because of the money? Because I never really had any. Who wasn't my friend because of the money? Because I never really had any. Who wasn't my friend because of the money? Because I never really had any. Who wasn't my friend? Because of the money. Because I never really had any. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Quebecer, Canadian, North American. Here we are a new collective, eh? We're a new emerging civilizational collective here, and all who come to join us here in the north. Well, my brothers and sisters, we're gonna fuse north and south, basically. Canada, true north, strong and free. I got add some loving in the USA. We're gonna add some of that south. So the dancing goddess of the Dragon Kingdom is North American centric, but basically it's north and south, because my brothers and sisters in the USA, are south of us. So being on that south, you know, that's how we gotta get doing on that, and that's how we gotta get on that LOV with the lovers, you know, and the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, carpenters, welders, plumbers. I cannot forget the plumbers. Some of that IT workers, customer service, those bakers, those cooks, construction workers, choo-choo train conductors, Honda train conductors, public workers. That's how we gotta get doing. And here you can come skiing, and you can come, of course, on that skates, if you will. There, you can come skate, and go slide up and down. You know, it's public. It can be fun if you like that. Today's a bit windy, but it's got to be on the cold side, you know. So that's why we gotta be. I think there's skating there. My vision is a bit blurred, but I see a night best. And today I'm gonna go check my optometrist. Gonna check on those eyes and gonna check on those LOVEs, you know, to get it on the do. So now I'm gonna discuss the debt refusion theory. So that's what we gotta get doing on the go. And I say, how's the ice? Comment est la glace? Ok, t'es pas allé voir? Tu t'en vas maintenant? Ok. Ah, je t'ai vu les patins des mains, je pensais que... Ok, bye. I asked how the ice was, but he said, oh, I don't know, but it's going now. I want to see, that's the skating ring there, and the skating ring on the go. I don't have skates, I gotta get it on the do, so my fellow family there, cousins, brothers, sisters, you know, cousins, because consider Quebecers my family, Canadians, and all who come to join us here, you know, so I know with Asperger's I can seem a bit strange in the bodily movements, and where I have neurological mental divergent condition Asperger's, so I'm less, maintaining conversation sometimes can be difficult with neurotypicals, and I'm part of a minority, less than 1%, less than 0.5%, less than 0.44% have Asperger's, which is not a mental illness. It is a neurological mental divergent condition, which makes me, Aspi's predisposed to special interests. Those special interests preoccupy our daily routines and habits with intensity, concentration, and we're super in it, super concentrated, super involved, super intense in certain things, and I can spend hours and hours and hours a day just involved in geopolitical theorizing and analysis, analyzing geopolitics, because that's my special interest, also known as obsessive interest, but do not use the word obsessive because obsessive has a more negative connotation, while Aspies have to be supported in those special interests. Aspies, Asperger people like myself, HFA. But for other things, we can be suffered a lot, and there's high unemployment among Aspies, unfortunately, because a lot of people misconstrue it as a mental illness, which is not. But a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what it is. It's just because our brains are wired different, and we have different appellations. We have different appellations, and we have different things which we gotta transmit. And it's more difficult social interactions. And for example, Aspies, we have to work on understanding and applying the personal space barriers. People have personal space, the distance. Aspies, sometimes we get so close when we discuss with certain people, like close to the face. So that can seem very weird and awkward to neurotypicals. It's not. We have to be told more directly, and sometimes we can be direct, abrasive, seemingly abrasive, too direct or too rude. It's not because of volition or ill will. It's not because of volition or ill will. It's not because of volition or ill will, but it's because, of course, we have a neurodivergence, and we're neurodivergent with that. So that's what it is with that, and that's why we gotta get on that application, on that application with it. So that's all we gotta get on to do, So it's just understanding, building bridges, bridges, bridges of understanding. It's always building bridges with neurotypical. So I lost a lot of employment, a lot of jobs. I had a lot of jobs, a few jobs during COVID, some which I really loved, with the elderly, the seniors, citizens, and I really loved that. Nice experience. But again, Asperger's can be pretty tough. The characteristics, because it's not symptoms. Symptoms is for a mental illness. Having these characteristics, sometimes most Aspies, I'm speaking myself as an individual Aspies, there's a tendency to utilize too much functional, intellectual, academic language, the use of linguistics and communications, mannerisms which are too intellectual, sophisticated, or utilizing verbosities or terminologies which are too deep, too complex, too philosophical, or too intellectual, too academic for maybe a majority. So that's another characteristic. Sometimes utilizing so much complexities in the language that it's an Asperger's characteristics, so it's often misunderstood a lot what it is as a neurodivergence. But we have our strengths. Geopolitics, that's my kingdom, my realm, 24/7, and 24/7 I predicted what's happening now. I got proof of work. I am and have been an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist for many years, an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist for many years, so that's what it is with that, and that's all we gotta cultivate, Thank you, public workers. I can't see that well, but I always wonder where these machines were built, with brains and muscles. Civilization is a privilege. That was my doctoral thesis presented at the beginning of 2025, which I have to revise and have to redictate again online. Of course, civilization is a privilege. The building and the construction, the aqueducts, sanitation. We gotta get public workers with it. Thank you, Hydro-Quebec. Let's build more dams. And that is seemingly from here, one of those machines. It might be putting salt. I have a feeling that is putting salt because it's a bit on the icy. So thank you, because I'm in the public. So now I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligation, which I don't have under the normal circumstances. The normal circumstances of life, I don't have the same responsibilities, duties, and obligations as I do here, you know, on the mountain, in the public sphere. There's added responsibilities, duties, and obligation, which are not the same. When I am in the public. So now I really gotta get going with the DRT, debt fusion theory. I gotta discuss the special dragon versus Trump. Fight! Sportsmanship like manner on the Canadian-US border. Let's build a North American People's Imperial Coliseum. Coliseum 11 times, you know, bigger than the biggest NFL stadium. So that's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get on the go with that. So that's what we gotta get on the doing, you know. So that's why we're gonna get the DRT theory, debt fusion theory. So that's what we gotta get doing on that. So debt fusion theory, DRT. Oh my God, sister. The debt fusion theory, DRT, debt fusion theory, DRT, debt fusion theory. The DRT stands for debt, R fusion, T theory, debt fusion theory. The debt fusion theory is, of course, the only solution, or something very similar to my DRT theory. The debt fusion theory is the solution. Why do I make that statement? Well, due to the fact that yesterday, actually last year to be correct, we paid 46.5 billion in interest on the public debt. So that is the motive I make the statement that it is XYZ to be implemented across the North American Collective, because much of the Canadian is parallel and equal to the same financial situation of both the public and the private of the United States, of the United States of America, the USA. So much of that is the same situation. So with the public finances is the same situation. That's what it is with that. So that's what we gotta get on that, doing with that, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing with that. So the debt fusion theory, we gotta get it on the XYZ, and that's what we gotta get doing with that, you know. So that's what we gotta get on the XYZ. That's what we gotta get on the loving, you know. The debt fusion theory. Debt fusion theory is, of course, something which has to be implemented, you know, have to be implemented on the XYZ, you know. So XYZ, that's what we gotta do. We have to be implementing the debt fusion theory. That's what we gotta get on the go, you know. So there we go. We're gonna go discuss the debt fusion theory right now. DRT. Debt fusion theory for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit. DRT. So back in 2021, the amount of interest which was paid on the public debt was 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion double would have been 40.6 billion, right? That's what that would have been. 20.3 times 2 is 40.6 billion. That's what it is with that, and that's what it is with XYZ. So that's the fact. You can check the numbers by yourself with the Bank of Canada, that you can check your own facts and check the numbers. Christian Freeland or Collectif Macklin or the Bank of Canada government, those are the numbers. It doubled, more than doubled, just paying the interest on the public debt. Just paying the interest. Imagine, so for a citizen, if the citizen in 2020, 2021 paid $156 in interest, and now it pays $333. The salary has to double. If just the interest, I don't have credit cards myself, but I pay 11% about on $10,000 in debt. But if the interest doubles, just the interest payments, let's say for citizens from 156 to 333, from 156 to 333, that means that has to reduce the spending, right? Because it cannot be maintained. You cannot maintain it, right? It cannot be maintained. The amount cannot be maintained. That's just how it is. The amount of interest paid cannot be maintained. That's just the DRT, the debt refusion theory. That's how it is. So due to that fact, that's why with the debt refusion theory, my DRT is the only solution, or something very, very similar, which resembles my DRT theory, debt refusion theory, is the in this situation. There's no other way out of this. Of course, the interest doubled due to COVID. We had to implement programs, protocols of the government to sustain the population in the terms of the emergency, the crises which we had, the emergencies and the crises which we had, that was the emergency and the crisis which we had for many years, myself included. I'm celebrating 5 years since I survived it. I really thought that was my last days, my last chapter, between February 7th, 2020 and March 24th, 2020, 5 years ago. So paradoxically, out of the curse of Asperger's, being cursed with Asperger's, I can put on the table the DRT, the debt refusion theory. The DRT, the debt refusion theory. The debt refusion theory. There's no way out of this, out of the DRT, but my theory. There's no way out of where we are now with the financial situation, but the debt refusion theory. So I'm gonna now explain it. Debt refusion theory stands for D for debt, R for refusion, T for theory. My theory also includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is exactly the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union, So in my DRT, and again, my DRT stands for debt refusion theory, is the only solution, or something similar, which resembles my DRT theory. And my DRT theory contains in it monetary integration theory, which is the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union. So that's what it is with that. That's what it is with XYZ. So that's what we're gonna have, the DRT theory, the debt refusion theory. That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna have to implement the debt refusion theory for the creation of the universal exchange in it. For the universal exchange, and I gotta watch my steps here because it's a bit on the dark, and sometimes you go a bit on the deep side, so you don't want to go too deep in the snow, although the snow is a bit on the strong side, but not all places. Some places you kind of just go in, but I'm gonna try to keep the steps that somebody else has carved before me, so just gonna be prudent. So the debt refusion theory, DRT, includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union. So the Europeans, they implemented the the monetary integration theory. So my DRT theory includes in it that theory known as monetary integration theory. And of course, in the 90s, they implemented the monetary integration theory, and my DRT theory includes that. And again, we paid last year 46.5 billion in interest. 46.5 billion, a billion has 9 zeros. That's the equivalent of 46,000 million. 46,000 million. 46,000 million. That's how much it is. That's how much it was, just the interest. So there's no way out of this, my brothers and sisters, but the DRT theory. It more than doubled. In 2021 fiscal year, it was 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion, the interest only on the public debt. That was 20.3 billion is 20,300 million, right? So it went from 20.3 billion to 46.5 billion, meaning that it more than doubled. If you do the calculations, it more than doubled. If you do the calculations, it more than doubled. So more than double. More than double. From 20.3, it went from 46.5, 46.5 billion. That's what it is. 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. That's how much it is. So that is the point. The point is that there's no other solution. There's no way out of this now. Yeah, due to COVID, but you understand that there's a possibility of a black swan event, a black swan event where the public finances of Canada collapse. There's a possibility for the public, there's a possibility for the finances of Canada to collapse. So that is what it is. That is what it is. The public collapsed. Public collapsed. So my theory, the DRT, jet fusion theory, the jet fusion theory, the DRT, is a solution. So, I just had to pee. I had to pee. Give me 44 seconds, maybe 45. Hold on. So I had to pee. So again, due to the fact that the interest payments have more than doubled in just 3 years, the same principle applies if a public citizen, if somebody's interest payments would have more than doubled. Let's say from 156 to 333. Let's say from 156 to 333. Let's say from 156 to 333. While the salary does not double. That's the moon, by the way. Holy Goddess kisses eyes. That you see now, moon. I'm in the forest now. It's kind of dark black, but I see better, paradoxically, in the night. I see very well here. It's a paradox, I guess my eyes, maybe, who knows, but I see very well in the dark. Way better than during the day, like paradoxically, but not on the same level of sight, but I see pretty good in the dark. The night. So again, if an individual's interest payments double in 3 years, more than double, because 333 is more than 156, more than double 156. One has to reduce the spending. How many salaries have doubled in the past 5 years? The average from 2020 to 2025, the average salaries have only increased by 4.4%. Average salaries have only increased by 4.4%. The average salary increase has been 4.4%. 4.4. Some 3, some 2, some 5, some 10, some 15. But the average is 4.4. So very few salaries have doubled. Let me know if somebody's salary you know that has doubled in 5 years. But that's what happened with the paying of the interest. The interest has more than doubled. Just the interest payments have more than doubled. Interest payments have more than doubled in just that amount of the interest payments only. The same mathematical financial principle applies with the public debt and the private, meaning that one has to reduce the spending. One has to cut in the budget, cut Netflix, cut going out to dinner, cut going out to movies, cut buying wine, cut buying cigarettes, whatever, smoke cannabis is legal here, legal cannabis. Whatever the case may be, one has to reduce the budget, the spending, if the interest, because it has to pay more on interest, otherwise it's bankrupt. Otherwise go bankrupt. So there's a possibility of a financial black swan event with the public finances of Canada. There's a possibility for a black swan event. There's a possibility of a black swan event. Black swan event with the finances of Canada. There is that possibility. A black swan event, a worst case scenario, a collapse of the public financial system of Canada. There's a possibility of a black swan event for the finances of Canada. It's possible because the interest payments have doubled. Just the interest on the debt have more than doubled. So due to that fact, by the way, I'm on my knees now. I'm going to touch a scepter. So the DRT is the only solution, because otherwise I go up to my knees in the snow here. So I'm strategizing like warrior, like military stars. I go towards the moon. So that is just the fact. So that is just the DRT is the only solution or something similar. The interest payments have doubled. The interest payments have doubled on the public debt of Canada. Paying the interest is now more than doubled from 20.3 billion to 46.5 billion. From 20.3 billion to 46.5 billion. This is where I wanted to take this. So from 23 billion, 20.3 billion to 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. So that is the amount of interest which we paid on the public debt. More than double. On the double. More than double. So it's not sustainable. One has to reduce the spending. This black swan event on the horizon for the public finances of Canada. There's a possibility of a collapse. Monday it could start. Monday. Not Tuesday. Next week somewhat. If not, the next week after. If not, the next week after. Monday the 24th of March and so on. April. This can come Monday, this Monday morning. It can come afternoon Monday, ASAP. There's a black swan on the horizon for the finances of Canada, public finances. Because what are we gonna cut? What are we gonna cut? The police, RCMP, prisons, correctional facilities, sanitation, those picking up the garbage. We're gonna have to cut some public services. Because we paid 46.5 billion in interest. The GDP of Canada has not doubled. 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 The interest have doubled. So you see where we are with the paradox. There's no way out of this situation but my DRT theory. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt. My debt, your debt, our debt. My 10,000. My 10,000, your 10,000. All the debt. Public and private, all the debt. Public and private debt. All the debt. Public and private. My $10,000, your $10,000. All the debt. Public and private debt. Together, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take it together, all the public and the private debt. My 10,000, your 10,000. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. And since in the United States is the similar situation, I'm calling for the DRT, debt refusion theory, to be implemented across Canada, United States simultaneously. Canada, US joined the DRT. It's an emergency for the US also. You brothers and sisters in the USA, you're in the same position. Financials. So the DRT theory, let's implement it together. Public-private partnership, like it takes a PPP to do this. Public-private partnership, all willing, loving, pledge allegiance to our family. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna convert all the Canadian public-private debt to US dollars. We're gonna add it with the US. All that money is gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank. We're gonna call whatever we call the new Central North American Integrated Central Bank. We issue a new currency called the UE. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot U. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The UE, the U, the UE. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The universal exchange will have the value of the US dollar. We're going to put an interest rate level of 10% maximum. It could be less. It could be 3.33, 7.18, 6.1, 9.3. Below 10, it could be 4.18, 1.56, 1.56, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to implement, of course, the DRT theory. And of course, we're going to implement the DRT theory, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the universal exchange and universal exchange and universal exchange and universal exchange, which are going to have the value of the US dollar. Going to have the value of the US dollar. Going to have the value of the US dollar. That's what we're going to need to be doing. So we're going to create the universal exchange unit. The universal exchange unit. We're going to create the universal exchange unit. So all that money is going to be the initial money supply for the creation of a new central bank. That money, we're going to rebuild the North American infrastructure. We're going to rebuild the North American collective. We're going to build the North American infrastructure. We're going to mass rebuild the dams, mass rebuild the more hydroelectric dams. We're going to build those 44 tunnels, construct 44 tunnels. 44, the number after 43 is 44, inspired by the Cheyenne Mountain Complex and the underground village. 44 tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war to survive it. 44 tunnels, massive tunnels, and let's get that North American Integrated Criminal Rehabilitation Act for those who've been incarcerated, to put a little bit of that to put a little bit of those workers do work, for the criminal rehabilitation, to put a little bit of those work for the criminal rehabilitation. And that's what we're going to get doing with that. That's what we're going to get doing on the go. So we're going to put a little bit of that Criminal Rehabilitation Act, and that's what we're going to get doing with that. They're going to do on the do. So that's what we need to be doing on the XYZ, and that's what we need to get doing the ACP, the ACP. So that's what we're going to get doing with the loving, the implementation of the DRT theory is a must. The debt refusion theory for the creation of the universal exchange. There's no way out of this but my DRT theory. So that is what it is. You can argue all you will, but there's no way out of where we are now. There's no way out of situation where we are now. But the DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the universal exchange unit. There's no other way. There's no way out of where we are now, due to the fact that the interest we pay on the debt has more than doubled. Just the interest payments have more than doubled. So the debt refusion theory, we're going to create the UE. We're going to mass finance citizens fitness, mass finance citizens tourism across the North American Collective, and established the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom as the Dancing Goddess, and the Dragon Kingdom as the Dancing Goddess, and the Dragon Kingdom as the Dancing Goddess, and the Dragon Kingdom, the Dragon Army for security, service, and defense only, the North American Integrated Dance League, the North American Integrated Dance League, the North American Integrated Dance League, also the DGA with the Dragon Army, the North American Integrated Security, Service, and Defense Force, for the North American Imperial Coliseum. Let's build it on the Canadian-US border and build coast to coast, ocean to ocean, rebuild the infrastructure. Mass rebuilding of our infrastructure is needed. Mass financing the rebuilding of our infrastructure. We're gonna need to mass finance the rebuilding of our infrastructure. Let's see, is it icy there? It looks like there's not that safe to go by that side. Let's see if we can go by this side, maybe best. Looks very icy. Is it ice? I'll have to go on the side. Maybe how we're gonna go. Gotta strategize. That's ice, right? Is that ice? Yeah. It's not safe by there. It's not safe, so we're gonna have to go by here then. So we're gonna, because there's too much ice, so I'll just go by the side here. So just bear with me a minute. I have to go by, see somebody else went by there, so just gonna go 1 foot, put a foot, put another one, and safe, safe, safe. There we go. Safe journey down, and we're gonna get it on the XYZ. Anyway, so that's the DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, the DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the UE. That's what it is with that, that's what it is with XYZ, and that's what we gotta get doing with the LOV, the debt refusion theory. For the creation of the UE, pledge your allegiance, legion, with the money we're gonna do a lot of good, lots of good. We're gonna implement the collective, North American Civilizational Collective, and the complex, the North American Civilizational Complex. That's what we need to get doing with that. That's what we need to get on to do. So that's what we need to do it now on the collective, you know. So we gotta get doing on the love, you know. So something which we gotta get doing to that. So something which we gotta be on the love, man, you know. So that's what it is, for the love, you know. And that's how we're gonna get on that trajectory to build, you know, to build and rebuild, and gotta get it on the LOV, you know. So that's how we gotta get that DRT, that refusion theory. There's no other way. That refusion theory, we gotta implement it, and that's how we're gonna get on the tool, you know. So there's no other way out of this. It's a possibility of a black swan event on the horizon. On the horizon is a possibility of the black swan event on the horizon, and that's what we gotta get doing on that. So something which we must, you know, implement on the collective, and that's what we gotta get doing on the love, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing for the love, man. For the North American Collective, the Dancing Goddess, and the Dragon Kingdom, which we gotta be doing, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing on that. Here we gotta ask for that to get it on the do. So gotta get it on the now. So that's what we gotta get, you know. So gotta get a little bit of that. Here at the top of the Belvedere Conjuring Act, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. That's what we gotta get doing on that, you know. So we gotta get it on the love, man. Gotta get it on the side. So otherwise we're gonna slide down. Here's the headquarters for the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, and that's what we gotta get doing with that, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing on the go, you know. So the debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange, and that's what we gotta get doing, you know. So we gotta get doing on that goal. So that's what we gotta get on the go. So here we are. the top of the mountain. Top of the mountain for the beautiful mountain on the go. Beautiful mountain on the go. There we go. Atop the headquarters. Oh, the Belvedere conjuring act. Or somebody kissing, that's good. Let's give me some hope at least. Somebody making some love in the free world. Yeah, here's it. Top of the Mount Royal, Belvedere conjuring act HQ. Headquarters of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. That's what it is with that. And here we are. Atop that mountain with some rock all over the bushes because this is the grocery store drugs. You gotta get it on to do, and that's what it is. So that's what we gotta get it on to do, and that's what we gotta get it for now, you know. So it is what it is with that, and that's what it is with XYZ, and that's the pyramid, you know. That's the pyramid. That's my favorite skyscraper right there. So gotta give it for the lights. And that's what it is with that. So. That's what we gotta get it on to do, you know. It's something which we gotta get it, you know. Something which we gotta get it, you know. So that's what it is, you know. Yeah. That's it. That's all we got. They're doing. That's all. That's all. They do. That's it. That's all, I guess. Sun always shines. That's all. Itu that's all we got. That's all. Yes, see. That's it. That's it. Oh yeah. You know we're gonna get on those stairs now, so gotta sing some of that good rock and roll. Let's go as we go down from the Belvedere conjuring act. Gotta put the dragon flag of the dragon, and the dancing goddess, that 7-pointed stars, and the flag of the dragon there, and that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with the XYZ. So that's what we gotta get doing on that, you know. So something which we gotta do. Let's go for the rock and the roll for the free world. Kiss 'em, miss 'em, or that good. Like you know we should. Somebody boogie woogie in the free world. You know on the mountain as I go for the rock and roll. I go down the stairs, I go down the stairs, I go down the stairs. Gotta shake that booty for that rock and roll, you know it. So you know we gotta love it. For the butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors and the firefighters. Gotta sing some loving me, gotta sing some loving me. For the Montreal, you know we see. For the Montreal, you know we see. And this the Montreal, the greatest city. This the Montreal, island of the Hawk. Greatest city, what I got. The freestyle rainbow rock and roll. 24/7. And that's not all that I got. I got a new song every tick and every talk on the clock. Sun is always shining. So many trillions of stars. But only the few can see it. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in that hat, up in that Snake, New Jersey. Hey, snake to snake, love to love. Kissing me some of that good loving. Kissing and those hips be shaking. Up in the stars be baking. Nuclear warheads heading. So you know we always baking, always cooking, always sticking on the clock with the head of a hawk. And you go on the road, satellites up in the sky. You know, so many lights up in the lights. Don't throw no dice and don't go gamble. I go up and down, up and up and down, up in the song. So you know we've been along. So you know sometimes we get it wrong. Getting wrong, but try again. Getting wrong, but try again. It ain't all that we got. It ain't all, and that's what's up. I go up and down on the clock, you go. By the way, I'm heading down the stairs now, eh? So heading down on those stairs, man. Getting on down, I go on the stairs, as you know. And there's the Montreal, the island that you know. That's my favorite skyscraper out there. Rainbow dragon rocking the roller. On the road. Hey, don't give me some shoulders, give me some butts. Give me some quirk for my lips, son, for world peace. You know I got a inner beast, a beast in the garden of the beast. Got a flavor lit, got a flavor lit. Got a flavor lips. So you know we shake those hips. So you know we shake the this. So you know we shaking the rips. So you know we shake the rich and the poor. We shake the poor and the rich. We rock and roll for the shakers and the makers and the bakers and the butchers and the truckers. Hey, strippers, give a trucker some of the discount so you know we gotta love it. Love is the youth, love is the twerk, love is the burk, love of the moon, love of the goddess, goddess soon. Goddess kisses, so I flavor, goddess kisses, so I labor. So I labor, save later, so I labor, save later, sabers. Saber, I go down the stairs, you know, I go down the stairs, you know. And another rainbow dragon rock and roller, give me some black and white, give me some big and small. Some of that good hugging, that's the road. On the road up in the States. How about it? 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 Sing it proud and sing it loud. So you know we're gonna scream it. I ain't got no money for the guitar. You gonna play that seeming demon. It's the march you know you got. It's the march you know we got. It's the march you know we have to. If the march you know we have to. On the march you know I got. On the march, you know I gotta. On the march, you know I have to. On the march, you know I gotta. 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 Butchers, bakers, nurses, truckers, firefighters. If you're a firefighter, give them some good loving. To the firefighters, better scream. Or a love song to the goddess. Goddess blessed kisses. Hey, gotta be some rainbow dismissed. So you know I just gotta sing it. On the flavor that's to bring it. Bring it. And you know we gotta bring it. And you know we gotta sing it. And you know we gotta kiss it. And you know we gotta cook, bake it. I ain't gotta cook it, look it. Gotta wait first. Gotta place us. Gotta place us, replace us, gotta get in front of states. And a Canada through no strong free, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Gotta cross that Quebec. Montreal, you know we see. Ontario, you know we be. That's the Columbia, you know we see. British Columbia, you know we see. Labrador, you know it's me. Manitoba, I know the sea. Manitoba, that's Saskatchewan. But I know supper, you know that's the. In the Yukon, we'll go down by the south, all the way to Alabama, all the way to that Florida. Let's go, Texas and that California. North to South Dakota, gotta give me some love. For the Tennessee up to New York, gotta give them up in the Arkansas, gotta give me some of that USA, gotta give some of that Canada, you know we pray. Hey, you know what I get Dragon Lay. But you know that's open up the sleigh, open up the kiss and clay. You know we gotta go another round, all the way, that Mississippi. Give me up and down that Tennessee. North Carolina, South Carolina. You got a north, south, and strong and free. You gotta give me some of that loving with that liberty. You gotta kiss me some you can see. Rainbow Dragon rock and roll, rainbow till I rock and roll. What's up? I don't got a numero. On the road, let's go. Let's get that union for the dancing goddess. Sing it, priestess of the goddess. Go about it. Sing and flaunt it. So you know we sing and broad. We sing and broad it. We sing and flow it. We sing you know it. We sing you up it. We sing you song it. We sing you love it. French I got it, cause I am that belt province. So you know I gotta switch it. A little bit of that French, please. Make an effort for the French, please. Make an effort for the Quebec Sea. We gotta hear in the true north strong and free. Gotta give it for you see. Gotta give it for you be. Gotta give it for the you and me. Gotta give it for that melody. On the road and on the told. On the road and on the go. On the go, you know you froze. On the no, you know we told. Another story for the go. Another story for the yo. We gotta get it for the dough. We gotta get it for the low. We gotta get it left and right on the mountain. That's a sight. That's alright. We gotta get in me some dew. Gotta get in me some of that loving. We just gotta give it kisses to the fro, and that's a fro. You gotta get it for the dough. We gotta get it for the dope. For that XYZ, you know we got a fro. XYZ, we know we got a dope. On the love and right and rock and roll. For the X and white and do. For the X and white and do. For the love and rice and blue. For the love and rice and blue. For the love and rice and blue. You know we gotta see. Up and together, that see you. On the XYZ, we gotta say. On the XYZ, we gotta do. On the XYZ, we gotta see that me and that you. For the collective, got a hectic. For the collective, got a hectic. For the X, we gotta be it. X, we gotta see it. French, cause we love it, province. Let's rock and roll it. Hands up in the air, see it, throw it. Et bienvenue, je descends de la montagne québécoise. Soutenez votre arc-en-ciel, la gratitude. J'ai payé mon loyer, j'ai payé ma facture d'électricité, j'ai du café puis du thé, puis l'entraînement physique aux pompiers, boulanger, les boulangers, les boulangeries. Du rock'n'roll. Je célèbre Marc 5 ans depuis que j'ai survécu la COVID. Aujourd'hui, entre le 7 février 2020 et le 24 mars 2020, j'étais mort. C'était comme la mort, la pestilence. Puis la maladie, c'était comme la mort, la pestilence. Puis la maladie, c'était vraiment comme la mort, la pestilence. Puis la maladie, je pensais que j'allais mourir. Oups, je viens de glisser, je vais voir par où c'est. C'est mieux que j'aille par ici comme ça. Des petits pas parce que ça glisse un peu, fait qu'il faut faire attention, hein, parce que je descends de la montagne, là, puis il n'y a personne aux alentours, fait qu'il faut que je me passe un peu les genoux, mais je connais la montagne, je connais quand même le terrain, hein. Puis bien des années, dans une autre vie antérieure aussi, des fois j'ai été né homme, des fois j'ai été né femme, moi. Je suis mystique, je crois des réincarnations, puis bien sûr, en faisant attention ici, pour pas que ça glisse, il faut faire attention pour que ça glisse, là, parce qu'il faut faire attention avant que vous allez, des fois, là, dans le coin, ça peut être glissant, fait que il faut que vous fassiez attention dans le coin quand vous penchez là-bas un peu, ça glisse, fait que faut faire attention et être prudent, fait que glisser. En plus j'ai mon sac à dos, mais la gratitude, j'ai payé mon loyer pour le mois de mars, j'ai payé ma facture d'électricité. Go Hydro-Québec, on bâtit construit d'autres centrales. J'ai payé ma facture d'électricité, j'ai du café et du thé, et bien sûr, l'entraînement physique que je vous conseille de faire, québécoise, pour en faire aujourd'hui à la descente de la passe, qu'on descend pour la passe, pour en faire québécoise, faut que je fasse attention moi aussi dans cette descente. Fait que, en tout cas, il y a 5 ans, j'ai eu la COVID. Fait que, je suis en train de célébrer maintenant. Je célèbre le fait d'avoir survécu la COVID. That's it. Good food. Yeah. Et vous? Oui. That's good. That's all. Good food. That's it. Eh bien, on a été capable. C'est... Et on a réussi à descendre. Ok, bon, voilà, Québécois à la danse. Que je vous invite à bien sûr pour en faire. Bien sûr pour en faire ici. Ça c'est la pyramide. Pour en faire bien sûr la pyramide. Et voilà la pyramide que je préfère bien sûr que ça fasse bien sûr pour en faire ensemble. Et à la descente, je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. C'est ça qu'il faut faire aujourd'hui. Prêtez allégeance les jours où vous êtes famille, vous savez la chanson. Soutenez la théorie de la refusion de la dette. TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. La théorie de la refusion de la dette. Pour la création, bien sûr. La création, bien sûr. De l'unité des gens universelle, puis on n'a pas le choix, hein, quand même. On est rendu à une situation financière que ça a fait que ça a doublé l'intérêt qu'on paye sur la dette publique en 3 ans. C'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID, puis moi-même, je marque, tu sais, en ayant survécu la COVID, je pensais que j'allais mourir. Je pensais vraiment que c'était mon dernier chapitre. Fait que je suis en train de renaître maintenant. Je suis mort de la COVID en 2020, entre le 7 février 2024, puis le 24 mars 2024, je pensais vraiment que j'allais mourir dans bien des choses. Je suis mort de la COVID, puis je me suis fait vacciner 3 fois. Je garde quand même les protocoles de la santé. C'est super important de garder ces protocoles d'hygiène publique. Je pense que c'est quand même des bonnes habitudes. Hein. Puis moi, avec l'entraînement physique, j'ai commencé en 2017. Avant ça, j'étais en dépression puis suicidaire. J'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, puis j'ai établi un esprit de corps solide avec... Ben, vous êtes ma famille, veux pas, tu sais, fait que j'ai établi un esprit de corps solide avec le Québec, puis bien sûr, en établissant un esprit de corps solide, c'est quelque chose, bien sûr, qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même, en établissant ces esprits de corps solide, bien sûr. Ben, en 2017, j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, fait que c'est ça que j'avais fait. J'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, puis les côtes à côte, tu sais, ça fasse bien sûr, pour en faire bien sûr un compromis ici dans le public, tu sais, je suis dans le public maintenant, fait que c'est des choses qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même, bien sûr, pour en faire bien sûr, puis c'est des choses bien sûr qu'il faut que je fasse Bien sûr, en tant qu'individu, hein, parce que je suis un individu, mais bien sûr, avec l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, en étant, faisant partie de cette minorité de personnes, hein, parce que c'est moins d'1%, moins de la moitié d'1%, moins de 0,44% hein, qui ont l'Asperger's, l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, bien sûr, c'est quelque chose, bien sûr, que je vis avec. Fait que je vis avec cette condition de neurodivergence qui fait que je suis neurodivergent. Fait que ça fait que j'ai des intérêts spéciaux, bien sûr que j'ai des intérêts spéciaux, bien sûr. Puis ces intérêts spéciaux, bien sûr, ça fait que ça se passe 24 sur 24. Puis ma trinité d'intérêts spéciaux, qu'on appelle aussi intérêts obsessifs, mais utiliser le mot obsessif, c'est plutôt négatif. Les aspects comme moi-même, l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, il faut qu'on... Les autistes hautement fonctionnels, soit aussi connus comme l'Asperger's, les aspects, il faut qu'on soit encouragé. Il faut qu'il y ait beaucoup d'encouragement dans ces domaines qui sont nos intérêts spéciaux. Je connais comment c'est. Puis moi, c'est la Trinité, c'est la géopolitique 24 sur 24. Puis je suis un analyste théoricien en géopolitique indépendant. J'ai même prévu que ce qui se passe maintenant en 2019, en octobre et en novembre, j'ai prévu qu'il y aura une conflagration internationale. J'avais même en conséquence créé un propre système d'entraînement physique pour y aller, bien sûr, pour la mobilisation d'une population, pour avoir la mobilisation d'une population dans le cas d'une guerre nucléaire. Parce que c'est ça, j'avais prévu une troisième guerre mondiale, l'Est, avec possibilité, bien sûr, qui est possibilité d'avoir, avec la possibilité d'avoir, c'est possible, hein, qu'il y ait une guerre nucléaire, hein, c'est possible. Puis on se demande pourquoi que la Chine, ils ont augmenté ils ont produit plus d'armes nucléaires depuis 2020 à maintenant. Plus que 20%, plus que 25%. Fait qu'ils n'avaient à peu près 400 ou 500. Puis là, ils sont rendus à en avoir entre 600 et 800, quelque chose comme ça. Fait que leur chiffre, il a augmenté d'environ plus que 20%. Ils estiment 20% plus. C'est un cinquième. C'est-à-dire pour chaque 5 qu'ils n'avaient, il y en a une qui ont bâti de plus. Pourquoi ils ont bâti tellement? Car avant, ça a pris 44 ans et plus là, pour se rendre à 450, mais qui n'ont de bombes nucléaires. Puis là, dernièrement, ils ont augmenté à 600, 600 et plus. Vous demandez, ça a pris plus que 44, quasiment 45 ans pour bâtir les centaines de bombes nucléaires qu'ils ont. Pourquoi ils ont investi tellement pour en bâtir d'autres en 5 ans? C'est la géopolitique, il faut se demander. Puis pourquoi ils construisent je pense qu'ils ont dit 11 fois, quasiment 11 fois plus grand que le Pentagone. Le siège social de l'armée des États-Unis. C'est le Pentagone. Ils ont bâti, ils sont en train de construire, ils ont fini de construire un énorme complexe militaire. La Chine. Ils sont préparés depuis. C'est quoi? On se demande pourquoi il y a cet investissement massif dans l'armée de la Chine. Pourquoi il y a ces investissements massifs? Moi, je vous dis, mes protocoles, mes initiatives sont seulement pour la défense de côte à côte. Depuis octobre-novembre 2019, puis depuis que j'ai eu la COVID, mes initiatives en tant que philosophe, artiste, athlète et analyste théoricien en géopolitique, mes initiatives, puis mon appel pour la fondation de l'armée du dragon, qui est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé. Quand je dis fait de soutien, c'est de soutenir mon rêve, le royaume de la déesse du dragon qui danse, c'est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé, pour la défense, la sécurité et le service seulement. La sécurité et le service pour la défense seulement. Seulement pour la défense, sécurité et le service. Service, sécurité, défense. Pour la création de 2 institutions complémentaires. L'armée de la déesse, soit la Ligue de danse de l'Amérique du Nord intégrée, puis soit aussi l'armée du dragon. Bien sûr, l'institution de défense du collectif nord-américain. Comment qu'on l'appelle officiellement, c'est en principe seulement pour la sécurité, pour la défense, pour le service, puis intégré avec tous les services de sécurité qui existent. Mais dans le 21e siècle, sur les nouveaux protocoles de 911, parce que 911, c'est aux États-Unis ou au Canada, puis là, on s'en va pour aller 25% de tarifs, puis qui ont peut-être imposé d'autres tarifs aujourd'hui, c'est quand même quelque chose de grave, là. Moi, depuis 2018, quand Donald Trump a imposé des tarifs en 2018 sur l'aluminium et l'acier de 10%, c'est depuis là, bien sûr, que je fais appel à Donald Trump pour me combattre dans un combat de boxe, puis je vais combattre sur la frontière du Canada et des États-Unis un colisée impérial Un colisée du peuple impérial, un colisée du peuple impérial, bien sûr. Un colisée du peuple impérial. Puis je veux que Donald Trump, il me combat dans un combat de boxe. Que Donald Trump, il me combat dans un combat de boxe. Donald Trump, pour me combattre dans un combat de boxe. C'est ça que je veux, bien sûr. Qu'il me combat dans un combat de boxe, bien sûr. Pour me combattre dans un combat de boxe sur la frontière du Canada puis des États-Unis. C'est ça que je veux, bien sûr, pour me combattre dans un combat de boxe sur la frontière du Canada puis des États-Unis. Depuis 2018, quand il a imposé 10% de tarifs. Les sneaks. Sneaks. Dans un combat de boxe depuis 2018. Puis c'est là vraiment que je suis rentré dans la politique. Parce qu'avant ça, mais je suis pas rentré dans la politique, bien sûr. Je suis resté sur le côté, sur le bord. Ben, parce que je venais juste de sortir de ma dépression, tu sais. J'étais en dépression, j'étais suicidaire. Puis la perte de mémoire, j'ai commencé à ramener rétrograde. J'ai comme la misère à me souvenir avant, ma vie avant d'avoir déménagé. Puis j'habitais une place avec beaucoup de moisissures. Je suis déménagé, j'étais comme suicidaire. Suicidaire. J'étais suicidaire, bien sûr. J'étais suicidaire. En dépression. Puis quand j'ai traversé le Canada en 2017, ça fait plus que 7 ans. En 2017, j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte. Puis quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, c'est là, bien sûr, depuis que j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, en traversant le Canada de côte à côte, c'est là que j'ai établi un esprit de corps solide. Avec le Canada, le Québec, l'Amérique du Nord, qu'est-ce que j'appelle en tant que philosophe le collectif nord-américain. Visite ma famille, tu sais. Des fois, on est dysfonctionnel un peu, mais tu sais, c'est là que ça a tout changé ma vie. J'ai commencé à m'entraîner. En 2019, j'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique. Puis là encore, j'ai eu la COVID. Puis quand j'ai eu la COVID, entre le 7 février 2020 et 24 mars 2024, je pense, 2020, entre le 7 février 2020 et 24 mars 2020, ça fait 5 ans, je le célèbre aujourd'hui, d'avoir survécu la COVID, crédit avoir survécu à la COVID, à la science, puis la déesse, je suis mystique, je dis aussi Dieu déesse, là, je suis androgyne pansexuel, là, qui aime la sadomasochisme, pas besoin qu'il m'espionne, les services secrets de la Russie ne traversent pas l'océan, là, pour venir espionner le dragon arc-en-ciel, ni les services secrets de la Chine qui restent l'autre bord, hein, qui ne traverse pas l'océan, s'il vous plaît, pour venir me voir, moi. Un petit clitopénis, une petite cicatrice. J'ai vraiment beaucoup de cicatrices, je me cache rien. Je vis avec ça, je vis avec l'Asperger's. Comme je vis avec l'Asperger's, mais j'ai mes forces. Ça a été des défis, ça a été des discussions, mais en géopolitique, j'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe. Mais les initiatives sont pour la défense. Le service pour la sécurité, pour la défense. Le service pour la sécurité, pour la défense. La sécurité et le service, principalement. Puis qu'en 2017, j'ai traversé le Canada, j'ai établi un esprit de corps solide avec le Canada, mais puis, depuis ce temps-là, je m'entraîne. J'ai perdu entre 80 et 93 livres. J'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique, puis je vous encourage à l'entraînement physique. C'est quelque chose qui ça fait du bien. Puis bien sûr, je veux dire que je vous fais appel pour prêter allégeance, les gens, vous êtes famille. Prêtez allégeance, les gens, vous êtes famille. Prêtez allégeance, les gens, vous êtes famille. Puis, c'est important de faire l'implémentation de la théorie de la refusion de la dette. Parce qu'on est rendu on a payé l'année passée 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique. Fait que c'est un paradoxe, mais la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, il faut faire l'implémentation. Parce que c'est rendu qu'on paye tellement d'intérêts, bien sûr, sur la dette publique, qu'on n'a pas d'autre solution, Fait que c'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on fasse, bien sûr, dans ce point de vue maintenant qu'on est rendu pour faire cette théorie, pour faire la création d'une unité d'échange commune, comme qu'ils ont fait en Europe. Parce qu'on est rendu à payer le double qu'on a payé en 2020-2021. Hein. Fait qu'imaginez-vous aussi, en tant qu'individu, si l'intérêt double sur la dette, ça veut dire qu'il faut qu'on coupe dans le budget. Fait que c'est possible que dès lundi, le 10 mars, qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques canadiennes. C'est possible, c'est sur l'horizon, mais c'est possible. Donc, qu'est-ce qu'on va couper dans le public? L'intérêt a plus que doublé. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD de votre dragon arc-en-ciel, la théorie de la refusion de la dette. On va prendre toute la dette publique privée, puis il faut qu'on fasse Canada premièrement, mais Canada, États-Unis en même temps, simultanément, car les États-Unis sont comme dans la même situation financière publique, privée aussi. Moi aussi, j'ai 10 000 $ de dette. Public, privé, bien sûr. Public, privé. Fait que c'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on fasse, bien sûr. Qu'il faut qu'on fasse, bien sûr. Ça. C'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on fasse, bien sûr. C'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on fasse. Fait que la TRD, pour la création de l'unité d'échange universel, il faut qu'on fasse, bien sûr, dans cette théorie, bien sûr, de l'implémentation de la dette pour l'armée de la discrétion. C'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on fasse. Maintenant, l'implémentation. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution, c'est pour ça. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Théorie de la refusion de la dette. Fait que c'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'il faut qu'on fasse. Donc, en faisant ces choses-là, bien sûr, il faut faire l'implémentation de la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. C'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on fasse. Donc, ce qu'il faut qu'on fasse, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Fait que c'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on fasse. Faut le faire. Mais c'est grave, c'est la TRD, mais c'est rendu qu'il y a une possibilité d'un effondrement. Puis là, avec c'est quoi qu'on va couper dans les finances publiques? Les prisons, le service correctionnel, la police, la GRC, ceux qui ramassent la poubelle, le compostage. C'est beau ça, mais si ça serait un rouge, un vert, là, ça serait écœurant. Comment c'est fait, là? Je trouve ça beau ici, comment c'est... Il y a quelque chose que j'aime de cette architecture, comment c'est fait. C'est comme deux doubles, c'est deux jumeaux, comme jumeaux. Avec la lune, ça c'est la lune là-bas. Fait un beau petit... wow! Et c'est beau. Je trouve ça beau, en tout cas. Fait que la TRD, l'intelligence, les gens, vous êtes famille, une petite chanson, puis c'est that's all pour aujourd'hui. Puis jusqu'à chez nous, j'ai encore 2 heures. Et voilà une chanson de la jungle de ciment de Montréal. Le dragon arc-en-ciel qui vous chante en la danse. Bougez bien des orteils. La langue, c'est joue, ça donne des bisous. Ah ouais, le dragon en arc-en-ciel. Hey, de la belle province québécoise. Ensemble, on va bouger les montagnes. Ensemble, à danse. Je vous invite pour que ça chante. Fais pas chaud, on est en hiver. Hein, le mois de mars. Pas d'argent pour une guitare. Mais quand même, je chante. Pour que ça soit s'asseoir, qu'on passe, je passe. Pour pas que ça glisse, glissade. Avant l'amont, ça monte. Des gratte-ciel là, jusqu'au sommet. Hey, je chante bien plus.